But in this new story, there was no place for the woman. She had no story. It was only this one male God who sits in space, who made everything on the fourth day. And some of these people, they didn't go for this story. She also started circumcision. She started to cut the hat off the boy. Because now there's a whole new system. I won't go into it. Later on I'll talk more about this circumcision on another tape one day. I call it child mutilation, where they cut the sensitivity away from the man. When they cut the hat off the man, then he's exposed. He's no longer, he becomes less and less sensitive. His heart becomes hard. Whereas if he still has the hat on, his heart stays soft. It's a very big story. We won't go into it today. It takes hours and hours for this story. But maybe one day we stop this practice. Anyway, this book called Torah book, she writes this black letter on one book down. And these Raja people, they had brought the sitar from Hindustan. And there they make it into the guitar. And some of these people, they didn't go for this book and this one God, this one male God. And these people, they call the deep seas. They could see very deep. Deep seas, gypsies. And they left. They didn't go for the Torah book. They didn't go for this new God book. And they went in their wagons all over Europe, Spain, even up to Finland. So some of them actually did make it to the Holy Land. If you go to Finland today, there are some of these gypsies who actually made it to the Holy Land. But this Moses, she took these people out from Egypt, and she didn't take them to the Holy Land. She took them to Persia. And there she tried to create one holy land. In hell, if you go to Helsinki today, there's 7 islands in front of hell, and there's 7 hills in hell. And she created some kind of story like this in this Persia. There's no hole at the top of the E in Israel. It's not the Holy Land. Today I've been speaking about the land at the top of the E where the hole is. So hell is the Holy Land. I have so much feeling for these Palestinian people. Anyway, so now we come to this Moses story, and this circumcision in this Torah book. We come to 2,500 years ago. We come to a guy called Buddha. And Buddha, the sound Bud, B-U-D or Be-U-De, Bud means messenger in root language. If you open these dictionaries, Bud, and Ah means the Asur, so the Asur is Bud. He's one messenger coming from Finland, from hell, who comes to what we call Nepal, which was part of Hindustan in this time. And this Buddha, he brings one philosophy. It's not a mythology, it's not a religion, it's one philosophy about how these people knew that there was going to be one time that we call the Kali Yuga, one time of destruction on the planet, one time when man has gone completely berserk. And this psychology is now that you can build some temples in the mountains and you stay up there and let the chaos happen in the cities. So this Buddhist thing is you sit up and you meditate and you let the crazy happen. There was some king called King Ashok. Anyway, it was in his time. So this Buddha was quite okay. He really made good for the people, the Buddha. He never said he was God. He just said he had the light. But he didn't know about the heart either. Or he would have said something. We come to 2,000 years ago, and we come to one happening in Finland, in hell. One of these more than 12 sons got his sister pregnant. And in this family, only the 12th son was supposed to make children. I don't know the papa's name, but the mother's name was called Margareta. And this son that's in her stomach, in the middle of the winter time, it was a little bit shame. And so this mama and papa to be, they walked across the Finnish Gulf. It's all frozen, and they walked down to the Middle East. They walked across the water. The water was frozen. And there they get down, and this boy, he comes out. He's called Jesus. Jesus. And he's raised part of the time, in the young days, he's raised in the court of the Sultan in Constantinople. And from there he moved to the court of the Pharaoh. And there this boy, he grew up. He's from the highest family on the planet. He's a little bit born outside the story. And his mother gave him some testament, some story, some will. And this boy, he left to Egypt and he went to a place called Hindustan. And he spent many years wandering with the Babas there, the sadhus. And one day he comes with the idea that he's the Messiah. He's the man that they're all waiting for. And he has these car people, the van class, take him in one caravan back to where we call Israel today. He'd never been there before. And he walks in and he tells these Jewish people that now I'm the guy you're waiting for. And these Jewish people listen to what he's saying, and they come to the idea he wasn't the guy. And Jesus wasn't talking about the heart, so he didn't have the power of the heart chakra. He didn't know about his heart. Thousands of books written about the heart today, and nobody has any idea where their real heart is. And these Jewish people, they tied him on what they call one shame stick. It's just one stick. And they threw tomatoes and eggs at him. They shamed him for saying this stuff. And his friends, they cut him down, they took him away. He'd had enough of this story, and he went back to Hindustan. And there he died, a very respected Baba in the India. They burned his body and they threw his ashes into the Ganges River. So this story says that the Jesus, he died in India. He did not die on the cross. This cross is a symbol for the tour. At the top of the planet, our Father, he stood at the very top of the planet with two gold rings, completely bar, and he stood like this. He represented tour, and tour is your best friend, your heart friend. And your tour friend has to be alive. You can't have a dead tour friend. So this church makes the symbol. Every time you look to the cross today, you think of this dead man. So they killed the tour. This was how they killed the tour power. Whereas actually this cross is one of the highest. There's two kinds of crosses. There's a cross that's an even cross. It's called Rasti. And this T cross is called Risti. So the word Christian, Chris, comes from the root word Christ. Chris means crisis in English. The crease. And crisis is one point when it either gets better or it doesn't get better. You're in the crisis, which maybe we are today. And Risti, if you don't know the Finnish language, Risti is this cross, the even cross, the T cross. And Risti, so you put Chris and Risti together, you come with Christian. So Christian is one combination.